This perp back with another video, and I just got done checking out episode 4, season 2 of Doom Patrol, and wow, I did not expect certain things in this episode. Then again, Doom Patrol, you don't know what to expect, and that's what I really enjoy the most about watching this series. Now, before I get into this review, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. With all that being said, let's hop right into this review because we have a lot to talk about. So the episode starts off with Niles talking to Dorothy, and we kind of see the origins of, her being locked away on Danny Street. This was the chief's way of protecting her from the world, but also he's afraid of the candle maker, because when she mentions wishes, the chief starts to freak out. So meanwhile, you have reoccurring characters from last season pop back up, like Flex and everybody from Danny's past. Danny's friends pop up and they try to come up with a solution to kind of bring Danny back to life, and they decide to have a Danny party, which this whole episode just gets really fucking wild, man. I just got a lot of thoughts right now. But then we get a scene of Jane where she's talking to, her other personalities in the underground, and they want her to pretty much just forget about her friends and worry about Kay. And that's all they worry about. That's why Jane is locked up. And now all her personalities are just coming out of the woodworks, just, fed up with all of Jane's friends. It's interesting, Jane has also shown a lot of character development. She wants to be more active and helpful towards other people, and the underground, her personalities don't want nothing to do with their friends. We'll get back to that very shortly. Meanwhile, you have Rita and everybody setting up this party and just trying to boost Danny's kind of morale. That's what's keeping Danny alive. Just the love of all the people around Danny. And so then we get a scene of Rita and Dorothy really connecting and bonding, and they have a lot more in common than they think. We also find out Dorothy's actual age. She's almost 200 years old, but she's stuck in a 11-year-old's body, and Niles still treats her like a child, which really affects Dorothy's personality throughout this whole entire episode, which I think is going to lead into something interesting going forward. Meanwhile, we get this cool little music number and whatnot from Dorothy. We get this like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory type scene, which is really cool. And I wonder if the actress that plays Dorothy was really singing, because she has a really, really nice voice. Now back at the party, everybody's enjoying themselves. You have Jane. We get introduced to another personality of hers, Scarlet. Larry is kind of starting to open up more, but then kind of shuts back down. Rita's trying to, figure out how she can control her powers better. So she asked Flex for help, and then this is where things get really, really crazy as the story progresses. We get a scene of Dorothy talking to the candle maker, and the candle maker telling Dorothy, you gotta take control. You should be able to do what you want, pretty much manipulating and planting the seeds in Dorothy's head, thinking that people are against her, that they don't really care about her, which is so interesting. While all this is going on, nobody really notices this besides Cyborg for a second. Well, I'll get into that a little bit later. Going back to Rita and Flex, Rita asks Flex, can you use your power in a self-contained manner? Which ends up being such a hilarious scene wakes up some other character that we get to see in Nepal. I'll get more into his character also very shortly, but awakens him, and we start to see a lot more of Rita's past. But before we can get there, this is probably one of my favorite scenes of Cliff and Niles kind of going back and forth, and I guess you could say they're making temporary peace for right now, because Cliff can always flip out on the chief at any moment. But I really enjoyed this scene. But going back to Rita, another aspect that I did not expect to see in this episode is Rita's backstory and how her mom was, and how it affected her going through her life and her insecurities, and how that might trickle on down to Dorothy. I'll get back to that also towards the end of this review. Back to the party, this is where things just get fucking wild. You get introduced to the sexmen, and the dude that you saw earlier in the episode in Nepal, he's a sex demon that they have to put away, because if he gives birth to a child that cries, whatever, it'll kill all the children in the world, which leads Jane to become the hero and stop this from happening, and is able to get Rita out of her huge orgasm. Pretty much that's what she's having. It's hilarious. Jane comes back, her personalities kind of give up and just let her take full control over just being the primary. So now Danny is able to get some type of peace and is able to move on. Now Danny is a tire. Everybody kind of moves along and goes their separate ways. Cyborg moves back in the house. But now things are kind of left fucked up for Dorothy, as she was getting ready to kill Danny in this, because she was just full of rage. Cyborg noticed this. I don't know why he didn't try to stop her, but Rita said something that her mother said to her that kind of killed her confidence, and now is going to really take a dark turn for Dorothy. And I really enjoyed this whole entire episode. What do you guys think about this episode? I can't wait for next week's. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Till next time, I'm out. Peace.
It's crazy as fuck, because people, they want you to be you. They want me to be myself, right? It's like, I have like a weird place in life where I think I'm like